Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Good evening, and I'm Shelby Clark with Primetime Local News. Thanks for joining us. 2 more people who tested positive for COVID-19 in Saskatchewan have died. One was a person in the 70 to 79 age group in the Regina zone, and one was in the 80-plus age group from the southwest zone. There are 191 new cases, including 3 in the northwest. 166 people are in hospital, with 4 of those in our zone. There are 1,955 active cases in the province, with 78 of those in the northwest. Close to 193,000 vaccine doses have been administered in the province, with almost 14,000 in our zone. As agriculture continues to change, Lakeland College is staying ahead of the curve, diversifying the student body of its ag programs. Eric Bay has more.
With an increased emphasis on agriculture in international trade, Lakeland College believes attracting a diverse group of ag students will help ease relationships and pave the way for agriculture's future.
But going forward, if you really look at these global markets and the international markets that we're needing to ship our products into, that we're needing to collaborate on in terms of sustainability issues and all sorts of different business arrangements, it's going to be really helpful to get those additional perspectives.
Brown says the inclusion is evident with Lakeland's student-managed farm, which sees second-year students collaborate on the business side of farming.
We get lots of comments from that student-managed farm model that, oh man, I joined this team so I could learn about raising crops or raising cattle, and all I'm doing is dealing with people, right? And I think that's really the point of that whole model, is that you learn a lot of the soft skill competencies there in terms of influencing your teammates, in terms of the decision-making process.
Lakeland has seen more international students come to the school and feels its model has allowed more students from different backgrounds to enroll in its ag programs.
It could also be students coming from urban centers that maybe don't have such an ag background. The fact is, when they come to the campus here, everybody kind of works on these teams. I think there's a real spirit of community of inclusion on that side. So you start working with your team members, and I really think that's the secret to inclusiveness.
Brown says Lakeland will continue to find ways to innovate and diversify its programs. Eric Bay, Primetime Local News.
The Lloydminster District Co-op is getting set to host Operation Hop, which will be raising money for the Salvation Army. Over the course of the last year, a lot more people have been seeking help in the community, and the co-op wanted to help give back to those in need.
Operation Hop is a joint community initiative between 106.1 FM The Goat, the Lloydminster RCMP, and our Lloydminster Co-op Marketplace. We're teaming up to help raise funds and awareness for the Salvation Army Food Bank. Feeding families is at the heart of what we do, and one of our main values is community, and there's a lot of people struggling in our community right now. And
the fundraiser is taking place all day tomorrow at the Lloydminster Co-op Marketplace, with a few different ways to participate.
We're going to be taking some $10 and $20 donations at the till that will be used to help the Salvation Army buy items that they need, and we're also going to be having some items that they've identified as high demand, that if you want to purchase an item, we'll make sure it gets to the food bank as well.
A few of those high demand items include soup, peanut butter, and oatmeal. Operation Hop runs from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. tomorrow. Students at Holy Rosary High School recently participated in the Regional Skills Alberta competition, where they took home the gold, silver, and bronze, sweeping the category. Our Jasmine King takes a closer look in this week's Beyond the Classroom.
Hey, we're all heading into the real world soon, which got me thinking, what skills did school actually provide us with?
The competition was held virtually this year, with students competing from schools across the Lakeland region. The virtual competition looks similar to previous years, except it took place at their own schools.
What that entails is creating a video in a window of 7 hours, and you don't know the topic, so you have to plan it, do the treatment, film it, and edit it, and hand it in all before 3:45, and if you don't, then you're disqualified.
Besides taking the media class at school, Ferguson wanted to go further in preparing the students for the competition.
I identify the kids that have a very keen interest within the class to build their skills. Outside of the class, I had them do a practice video, as well as send me their research for it to help them plan. They spent quite a few hours preparing for it.
At the beginning of the year, she set goals for the students to reach, and this year they didn't disappoint.
So I told them, I was like, our goal this year is to sweep, because I like knew their ability. And I said, our goal this year is like, we're going to sweep it. And they were like, worked so hard. And I don't think they actually like believed it was real until they said their names. And it was, I had them on Zoom and we like recorded the call, and it was precious. Everyone was like so supportive of each other too. Like even our gold medal girls were like so proud of like silver and bronze, and it was awesome.
Ferguson also adds that taking part in these types of competitions can help students down the line with future jobs.
Realizing that it's a viable career that you can do, I find that this is an area that's definitely going to grow in the 21st century skills. That even just putting this on your resume, if you're going into business, they can be like, wow, you know how to make videos for social media. Amazing.
The students will be participating in the provincial skills competition next, which will also be held virtually. Jasmine King, Primetime Local News.
Beyond the Classroom is brought to you by Lakeland College, home to the most hands-on education in Canada. Apply today and graduate job ready.
Earlier today was an Easter food hamper drive at First Baptist Church, where they, along with LPSD, collected 50 hampers for families in need. We went to check it out.
The Lloydminster Public School Division has had a successful partnership with First Baptist Church for nearly 10 years. This food hamper drive started out helping families during Christmas time.
It started with a smaller amount. I think it was maybe 25 hampers. And this last year, at Christmas, we built it up to, it was 150 to provide food for the families in the Lloyd area.
This is the third year the First Baptist Church and LPSD has provided food hampers for the Easter drive. The church has also partnered with the Olive Tree, who has supplied majority of the food items for these 50 hampers.
You know, I'm very grateful to the First Baptist Church and their ability to support my families twice a year, and hardship doesn't just happen at Christmas time. Hardship also happens at, almost every day, but being able to help families during Easter is very heartwarming.
The people in the church gave funds to purchase 50 hams to add in the hampers as well. An anonymous donation was also made for 300 pounds of hamburger meat to help with the Easter drive.
A big thanks to everybody in the church and from the community that have come out to help pack the hampers, and then we distribute them all to the different schools with the Lloyd Public School Division, so they all go to the schools.
You know what, delivering the food hampers, I get to do some of that, and honestly, it's just so emotional at times, but also there's so much gratitude from these families. Some families don't want to reach out and ask, but being able to just kind of say, hey, you know what, we've got this coming, would you like it? They're very grateful.
Lots of people in the community came out to help build these hampers, which made the First Baptist Church and LPSD proud to see.
They're so willing. The people in our community are so willing to assist and to help those that are in need. So that's nothing but exciting. That's awesome.
The Lloydminster Bobcats have been busy with their time off. As the team wraps up their cash raffle draw, now is the last chance to buy tickets. The team had 2 early bird draws in January, February, and March of $500, ahead of the $15,000 grand prize draw on Friday. Head coach and general manager Nigel Dubé says money from the raffle will help the team with equipment and operating costs.
The big part for us is lots of times we look at these raffles as the equipment that we go through, and the sticks and the ice. Those are big things, that still need to be ordered every year, and those are again, it helps us to support, in covering the costs.
Ticket sales are currently low. While this isn't great for the team, it could be great for buyers.
With less people buying tickets, it gives you better odds of winning. That's the big piece. I think the ticket sales definitely are down. So if there's an opportunity to win some cash, this will be the best one that we'll have on odds.
Anyone in Canada over the age of 18 can buy tickets by calling the Bobcats office. Tickets are $50 each. Here's our Jasmine King with another look at your weather forecast. Thanks so much, Shelby. Taking a look at temperatures around the central region, we are still sitting at 9 degrees here in Lloydminster, but as we look around the Alberta side, we are seeing 12 throughout most of these places. Red Deer at 12, as well as Rocky Mountain House, Edson, Edmonton, and Whitecourt. And Jasper is sitting at 11. Looking at the Saskatchewan side, they are a bit colder, with Melfort only at 1. Prince Albert at 4, Meadow Lake at 7, and North Battleford is still sitting at 8. And as we look into the northern parts of the provinces, Saskatchewan is still colder up there as well. Flin Flon and Wollaston Lake at -1, La Loche and Buffalo Narrows and Fort McMurray at 8, and La Ronge is at 5. And as we look on the Alberta side, Peace River and Slave Lake at 5 degrees, Grand Prairie at 7, and High Level is also at 5. Now, as we look at the southern regions of the provinces, Lethbridge and Calgary are at 12, and Coronation and Medicine Hat are at 11, with Banff a little bit colder at 5 degrees. And looking over here, we are seeing that Moose Jaw is at 7, Regina's at 5, Swift Current is at 6, and Kindersley is at 7 degrees. Now, looking across the country, we are seeing there is the western part of the country is a bit colder. We're seeing Regina at 5 and Winnipeg at -3, but as we head into the east coast, we are seeing that mix of warm and cold temperatures. Toronto's at 10, Quebec is at 13, Halifax at 11, but St. John's is down at 0, and then Iqaluit is at -18, and they are seeing some snow. Looking at the west coast, Vancouver is at 9, Whitehorse is at 2, and then up in Yellowknife, they are at -5. Now, as we look overnight across the region, we are seeing pretty common temperatures throughout. -4 seems to be the trend throughout most of the places on this list. Paradise Hill is at -2, Isla Crosse is at -6, and Wainwright and Provost are both sitting at -1. Now, as we look tomorrow around the region, we are seeing most places are in that double-digit range. Cold Lake, Pearceland, and St. Walburg at 11. Marwayne, Vermilion are at 14, and Wainwright is up at 16. Provost at 17. Macklin is also up at 16 degrees. Now, as we look at your 7-day forecast, we can see that we will be basically in those double-digit temperatures throughout most of the week. Thursday will be 13, but as we head into Easter weekend, we will be seeing common temperatures throughout. Friday, there is that 40% chance of rain, but Saturday will also be sitting at 9 degrees, but they will just be seeing a bit more cloudy conditions. Sunday at that mix of sun and cloud, and as we head into next week, we will be getting a bit colder, but that mix of sun and cloud throughout. But that is a look at your 7-day forecast, and we'll have more news coming up after the break.
The City of Lloydminster will be hosting a virtual procurement information session on April 15th. And to talk a little bit more about these sessions, I'm joined today with Lloydminster Mayor Gerald Albers. Mayor Albers, first of all, can you just talk a little bit more about what this virtual session is going to be?
This session is a continuation from the last session that the city held. So the procurement session helps local businesses, be it suppliers of materials or services, that want to learn more about doing business with the city. From that perspective, we've had a lot of tenders go out in the last little while. I'm working on major projects. There's more major projects to come, and it's very important people understand how they can apply to become or put in a tender or a bid to submission towards a project that's being worked on in the city, being as a contractor or understanding how subcontractors would work with the contractor that was chosen and how the city may play a part in that, as well as we buy goods and services each and every day, and we want to ensure that people have the opportunity to have that, to provide that information to the city and know what they can offer us. Well, at the same time, the city wants to explain to people, especially suppliers, how we're looking for the best purchase for the taxpayer at the end of the day. So it's a quite a broad perspective, and that's what makes it very interesting. We want to make sure people are informed.
And what kind of people or organizations would you encourage to, or would you like to see take part in these information sessions?
Well, I think that it's open to businesses that, like I say, first, often people think of the contractors and subcontractors. So if you provide a service from construction to maintenance, things like that, that would be something that would be very much into their wheelhouse. from the purchases of materials and supplies. Although we do business with a lot of local vendors today, and if you're a new vendor or if you've taken on a new line of products that you believe the city might be interested in or qualify that something the city would use, this would be important as well. So from basically very small operations to major corporations, it's important to understand how the city operates. It makes it a lot more information flowing that way.
And with more local businesses learning about the procurement process, are you hopeful that in the future more contracts will be awarded to local companies?
Well, we always look forward to seeing more local contractors and people working in our city for the city. One thing I have to remind people is that we don't have enough work every day to keep every contractor in this city busy and subcontractor. And I think that's one of the challenges, helping people understand that it's a fair and open competitive bid process. So if you have the best price, you will very likely be, in many cases, have the best shot at it. In some cases, though, I remind people we don't just strictly do it on price. When you look at an RFQ, request for quotation, or an RFP, request for proposal, then certain items, it's very easy when you're determining that we need 100 yards of gravel or 1,000 yards of sand. But when you get down to the engineering work, in some cases, as an example, and other pieces, we like to know that the individual is qualified. Sometimes there's pre-qualification. So there's many facets to procurement. And I think this is where this session will help people understand, well, why doesn't the city just simply walk in and buy something from my shelf off the shelf? Because the city is also responsible for making sure we get the best buy for the dollar. At the same token, by understanding what we do, it will also allow our local suppliers to compete in other markets for other municipalities' work. And I hope that's a win-win for the businesses as well, because if our businesses are working here in our city or can work in our city, they're also working in other cities and communities and supplying things from their business, I think it's just it builds on the business case as well.
And this info session is taking place virtually on April 15th, and people are encouraged to submit questions beforehand while they register. Can you just talk a little bit about where people are able to register and find more information?
So you'll find more information on our website at yourvoicellloyd.ca/YCYB. They can call the city at 780-875-6184 and ask for extension 2322. And the spots are limited, and I guess we'll determine. So I want to just go back. We would have been doing this in person, which the first one went very well, and a lot of good discussion, I understand, from businesses and city staff. We're going to do this one virtually, and if we fill it up and we've got to do it again, we'll be talking with administration to ensure that we do one more if we need to after this, to get information, because we are challenged right now. COVID has certainly put us at a bit of a disadvantage to have those sit-down meetings that people would like to have, or a discussion in a room and hear the conversation. So we'll continue to accommodate as best as we can. So we'll take this one and see where it goes. If we fill it up, like I say, we'll have some more discussions about doing it again.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking some time to talk with me today, Mayor Albers.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for following up and getting this information out there, because it's key that our community, and certainly our business community, plays a very vital role in our community, and we want to continue to try and help and build that community as best as we can.
Today I'm joined by the program director for Rumble, Alberta, which is a provincial tourism initiative that's encouraging travelers to hit the open road while exploring some landmarks and local businesses. Sheila Willis, thanks so much for doing this.
Happy to be here. We are very interested in getting more of Lloydminster on our maps.
So to start things off on a basic note, for people who are unfamiliar with Alberta Rumble, can you just give them a little bit of background?
Sure. Rumble Alberta Touring Challenges are meant to give people staycation options and road trips throughout the summer. They're going to start on May long weekend and go until October 3rd. And essentially what they are is points of interest across the province and a lot of communities, 400 plus, that people can go see, do, experience. They are 44 on-road maps and 13 adventure routes. And we will be giving challenges. So we want people to go out and take selfies and do things and meet those challenges for prizes at the end.
And you guys are targeting May long weekend as a kickoff date for some of your routes and travel options. Could you just maybe touch base on what some of them are and how they're going to work?
Right now we're busy. We have our maps online, so people can go to rumblealberta.com and see they're split into 5 different regions, and they range from 8 to 10 maps per region, plus our 13 adventure routes. So we're working right now on the points of interest. So I think I have all of the grain elevators that are potentially historic in Alberta on those route maps. Now I'm off to museums. We're going to have campgrounds. I've got the Alberta big icons on, and even little monuments that people might not know about. So there's a ton of stuff to go on these things, in all honesty. And through each, we will select challenges for people to meet, whether it be taking selfies or even getting a receipt at one of the cool little local restaurants to do those regional challenges. Another aspect of it is while we're doing various routes, certain localities are actually creating challenges within their area. So just as an example, which is a long ways away from you guys, Fort Vermilion is doing routes of all of their historic buildings. And if you complete those routes, you're in a separate prize category altogether, presented by Mackenzie Frontier Tourism Association.
Then, before we say goodbye here, for anyone who might be interested in getting behind the wheel and partaking in one of your challenges, where can they go to learn more?
This is very much an Albertan supporting Albertans project. Like, because of COVID, everybody needs a lot of help right now. So getting out and exploring and shopping local is hugely important to us. When the event passes go on sale on April 15th, first thing, anybody can use the Google route maps to go explore. But if you want to participate in the prizes and all the business specials we have coming up, then you need an event pass. They're going to be $100. They're going on sale on April 15th. And the first question the purchaser will be asked is, which of our partnering charities do you want to give $20 to? So right off the get-go, we're paying it forward. Any business that would like to be on board with this can contact me at my email, info.impacttourism@gmail.com, or through the rumblealberta.com website.
Thanks so much for doing this, Sheila.
Taking another look at your 7-day forecast, we will be seeing a high of 13 degrees tomorrow. With that, we will be seeing around -3 for how we will feel overnight. And on Friday, we'll be at 9 degrees, but there is that 40% chance that we will be seeing some precipitation. But as we head into the long weekend, we will be around that 9 to 10 degree range. Saturday, the high of 9, seeing that more of a cloudy day. Sunday, we'll have that mix of sun and cloud, and we will see that throughout most of the week. Sunday and Monday will both have a high of 10 degrees. Tuesday and Wednesday will be at 6, but again, for this long weekend, we will be seeing more nicer temperatures than we did see at the beginning of the week. Thanks for joining us for Primetime Local News. You can catch us in the next hour on CITL.